For more on this, we're going to be crossing to SABC News reporter Chriselda, who is in Noordgesig. Chriselda, good morning. What's the latest on your end?
Well, Liesl, as Finance Minister Gauteng uses his budget to outline the allocation of financial resources to national government's priorities, including social commitments. In Gauteng alone, you would know, in this financial year, 5.4 billion rand was allocated to social development, of which over 545 million is shared amongst 10 state-run centres, like where I'm broadcasting from, the Walter Sisulu Child and Youth Care Centre, which is in part a place of safety which accommodates children from birth to 18 years old who are vulnerable. That is children who've been abused, neglected and abandoned. And, the centre tells me, I guess, like everyone else, they've had to tighten the belt. So the cost to care, for these vulnerable keeps escalating. And there are certainly hopes today for a higher social needs budget. I want to speak to some of the beneficiaries about, what their expectation is for today, in particular when it comes to some of the basic needs. I'm going to start with Njabulo, and I'm not going to show their faces at this particular time. They're not really comfortable being in front of television, and some of them are underage. Njabulo, thank you very much for joining us. So what is your wish? What is on your wish list when the Finance Minister Gauteng takes to the podium this afternoon? What more do you need at the centre that cares for you?
Okay, I'd like to...
You're a bit nervous?
Yes,
okay, what are some of the basic needs that you think? All right, let me go to Sipho first. Sipho, what are some of the basic needs, that you would like the Finance Minister to address so that your living conditions here could be better?
The basic needs that would need is resources, the lack of resources. Many resources are provided by our care workers. So we have TVs that are not working, that don't have speakers. I'd like the Gauteng to add money so that we get new TVs, clothing and food that we eat. As long as you see, resources, the lack of resources. The main thing is the resources. That's all.
And I mean, obviously, the basic needs, issues like food, clothing, we're heading towards winter, resources, would you want to see the Finance Minister, take more into account in particular centres like this one that look after you?
Yes, ma'am. The clothing for winter, besides the clothing, heaters, things like that, because winter is around the corner.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. And you, Njabulo, are you okay now?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you're good. So what would you want to hear from the Finance Minister?
So what I'd like to hear from the Finance Minister is that they should add to resources like Sipho has mentioned, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. As we are heading to winter, we are going to need more blankets. You understand, ma'am? Because
more blankets, because obviously you need to be comfortable.
Yes, ma'am. And then we need to be warm for the night, you understand?
Yes. Yes.
And then like he mentioned, we will need heaters to get us warm, ma'am, as we are heading to winter.
Yes. Anything else?
The clothing, ma'am.
Oh, yes.
I think we'll need more jerseys, you understand, ma'am? We're going to need things that are going to keep us warm as we are going to school during the week. You understand? Yes.
And that's essentially it, Liesl. Nothing fancy that these beneficiaries at these state-run institutions are asking for. They're just asking for a bit more in terms of allocation, just to make their circumstances a little bit more comfortable. It is institutions such as this, or organizations such as this, that look after some of the most vulnerable, those that have been abused, abandoned. And facilities like this are obviously going to need, money to take care of some of these are vulnerable, in particular at institutions such as this. But a little bit later on, we will tell you a bit more, but certainly I think the in-tray and the expectation from the Finance Minister, Enoch Godongwana, is quite huge this morning. And certainly I think while many institutions will say they've been tightening the belt for too long, we'll certainly have to wait to see exactly which way that budget will go.